Welcome back everybody, it's Hot here with another mock draft example for the 843 MPT tournament. This video is intended to once again explain to you guys how the draft works from a technical standpoint, as well as to showcase how the resource situation in the tournament affects CIV priority. This draft example is going to be for game number 3, where each team is going to spawn with 1 horse and 1 iron resource respectively. Meaning that after the civs are picked, you can decide which of your players is supposed to spawn with a horse and which one is supposed to spawn with iron. Now, without further ado, this is by far the most complex scenario I've drafted because the resource situation is just so interesting. And it's all gonna hinge on what the first player in this draft is going to pick. So in this case here, one player from Team Cheese is going to decide how the draft is going to shake out for everybody. Let me demonstrate to you guys why I believe this to be the case. So the number 1 pick here is probably going to be the most comfortable carry civ for the player that is picking right here. So this could be either of the 5 top tier civs that I've lined down in my previous 2 videos on this draft strategy. It could be Persia, Rome and Celts if you want an iron civ, or it could be Iroquois or Egypt if you want a horse civ. Depending on your preferences there, it could be widely different. Let's go with scenario number 1, where player number 1 chooses a horse carry civ. For example, the Iroquois. So assuming that one of the horse civs is already gone, the second pick from Team Halu is going to want to pick up the other top tier horse civilization in that regard, which would be Egypt, in my opinion. Now Team Anti is left without a top tier horse carry civ. So what they are going to want to pick is, on the one hand, obviously, their iron carry civ of choice. In my opinion, the strongest one is Persia. Once again, because you spawn with bronze working, enabling you to get iron working faster than Rome or the Celts would. And then they're gonna have to make a tough decision here, because their other player is gonna spawn without iron and with a horse capital instead. So who do you want to pick in this regard? There's a couple of options here, but in my opinion, you could go Hittites, which is the only other horse unique unit civ available. But you could also go with the Mayans. I think this comes down to preference. I don't think one of the denying civs are really valuable here. One of the choking ones, because you really don't know if you're gonna spawn next to an enemy with a horse cap or with an iron cap, making it difficult for you to know what to tack into and which resource you have to deny. So again, this is down to preference. It could be Hittites, it could be Mayans here. Let's just, for the sake of argument, say that they roll with Hittites. Or actually, since they don't have an agricultural civ yet, maybe the Mayans pick would actually be more realistic, because having 1 agri is always very valuable. Now it's back to Team Halu for their second pick of the draft, and they already have one of the horse civs. And for them, they're now in a great spot, because they're guaranteed to get one of the good iron civs back, right? Because Team Anti can't pick all 3 of them, and they only want 1 anyways, since you don't have 2 players with iron in their cap. So again, this comes down to preference. You could pick Celts here or Rome, but just because you don't have any agri civs yet, maybe the Celts would be the better pick in this spot. And for Team Cheese, it's pretty much default now. Their last pick is going to be Rome, just because they want a strong iron civ, and they already have one of the agris. So this draft is perfect for Team Cheese, perfect for Team Halu, and a little bit difficult for the team that is left to pick 3rd and 4th. So I think this is the meta draft. If you're picking first, you want to pick one of the horse civs, because as I've demonstrated right here, unless somebody goes for something crazy, you're guaranteed to get one of these great iron carry civs back as well. And you have the choice which of the good horse civs you want. You're just going to have to take whichever iron civ is left up. So maybe that is the downside. That is scenario number 1, and as I said, I believe this to be the most favorable one for the first 2 teams, and the most difficult one to handle for team number 3. So if you're picking as the last team in one of these horse and iron maps, you better come prepared with a good strategy for how to upset the kind of balance of power in the civ tiers. However, let's just, for the sake of argument, assume that team number 1, in this case Team Cheese, open up the draft with their most comfortable carry civ being an iron civ. So again, my personal opinion is that Persia is the strongest iron civ in the game. So let's say they open up with that pick. Now Team Halu is in an interesting situation because they, again, it's two good iron civs and two good horse civs left up. So they have the choice whichever they like here, again, because they're guaranteed to get whichever they don't pick left up for their second pick, unless Team Anti were so creative to go for two iron civs or for two horse civs, despite only having one of these resources respectively. So you can really go for whichever you like here. You guarantee to get one of those good civs. So maybe you want to secure an agricultural civ here, which would be the Celts or the Iroquois. Let's, for the sake of argument, suggest they go with the Celts in this spot. Now it's over to Team Antiquity for two consecutive picks. They have to, of course, pick the remaining iron civ, which would in this case be Rome, and then they want a good horse civ. And they're now in the great spot that Team Cheese was in the first round. Remember, they have now the choice for whichever good horse civ they like, and they got the leftover good iron civ. So this draft is much more favorable to them. I would assume in this case they go for Egypt or for the Iroquois, but just because they don't have any agricultural civs yet, I'm suggesting they might go for the Iroquois pick, a little bit more likely. Now it's back over to Team Halu, and as I already suggested, they're in a great spot as well. They've got their agricultural pick, they can get a top tier horse civ as well, and now it's actually Team Cheese that's left in that awkward drafting spot. So you can see how much an impact that first pick had in this draft. If you go for one of the top tier horse civs, then you guarantee to still get one of the top tier iron civs as that last pick. But since you chose one of the more available iron civs as your first pick, you're now actually left without a top tier horse civ. So you're gonna have to come prepared if you want to open up with an iron civ and figure out a great last pick for this situation. Again, I suggest Mayans or Hittites, just like I did before. In this case, you don't have agri yet, so maybe having Mayans would be beneficial again. But pretty much what we've got here is we've got a reversal of the first scenario, with Team Anti actually coming out of this whole thing with the perceived top tier picks, and Team Cheese stuck in that awkward situation. So once again, to reiterate, on these one iron, one horse type drafts, you're really setting the tone if you're the first picking team. I would suggest opening up with a top tier horse civ, but if you've got an interesting strategy prepared, you can always throw a wrench into the whole system here, and I'd like nothing more than to be surprised with the strategy, of course, in this event. So this is another mock draft example for game number 3 of the tournament. Please be sure to tune in to this game number 3 on February 15th on my Twitch stream, and I'll see you guys there. Welcome back everybody, it's Rabdag here with another mock draft example for the 843 MPT tournament. This video is intended to once again explain to you guys how the draft works from a technical standpoint, as well as to showcase how the resource situation in the tournament affects civ priority. This draft example is going to be for game number 3, where each team is going to spawn with one horse and one iron resource respectively, meaning that after the civs are picked, you can decide which of your players is supposed to spawn with a horse and which one is supposed to spawn with iron. Now, without further Welcome guys. Again, I'm super sorry for the delay again today. It's not up to the players, not up to us, it's just a tech problem here. But we're almost in the game. We're now reloading for the final time, at least hopefully. Let's take another look at these civs while we're setting up that reload. And these are the drafts. These are the civs that teams are gonna play for game number 3 in the tournament. Everything tied up in the standings. No clear favorites at this point. And an incredibly unpredictable civ draft we got right here. I think everybody will agree that nobody could have seen these kinds of civs coming. Super curious, no Iroquois picked after their dominant performance yesterday. And the Celts also going so late. People have been memeing about picking Zulu and Celts together if possible. Just nobody thought it would actually ever be feasible. And not at all for the number 1 pick to even get one of these high tier civs as the last pick. But oh well, how the turns have turned. Either way, this is what we get for our game number 3. The first time that we're playing on one of these maps where every team has 1 capital city with horse and 1 capital with iron. So we'll see how that impacts the gameplay. The draft has already been turned completely upside down. Oof. Absolutely. Let's also again look at the lineups we're going to be seeing today. These are some stacked teams, everybody. All 3 captains for their teams are playing today. So this might very well be the highest elo game, the most competitive game, the highest level of gameplay that we get for this entire tournament. All 6 of these players are front page MPT players. I'm not sure we've ever had that in a tournament game before. So this is definitely shaping up to be one of our elite games. The more surprising it really is that these strange civs have been picked, but ooh, it's super difficult to say. Absolutely. So only 1 more player missing for us to get that reload going. Again, I apologize for the delay. It's none of the players' individual faults. It's simply just CIV3 being a little bit difficult to work with. Everybody was pretty punctual today, so no complaints on that front. So, as I load up that reload and we're about to dive into the game, I hope everybody has their popcorn ready, because this is gotta be a banger today. We've seen quite a few bangers already, but probably nothing of this magnitude yet. Although, to be fair, by the way I'm hyping it up, it can only disappoint. Right? That's how it always goes. Either way, everybody's now in the lobby. We're just toggling and checking in, so it's only gonna be a couple more seconds. You can see right there, these are the standings going into the game. And these are the civs that people are gonna be playing. Take a good look. We're about to hop in here. And that's gonna be the Clash of Titans for you guys today. Let me guys know, by the way, if you have an explanation for why Antiquity's team didn't pick the Iroquois. Or, yeah, not even Egypt. Nobody picked Egypt or Iroquois on this map. And if you have any idea what the Babylon pick is supposed to accomplish here, I'll also be interested in finding out what that might all be about. If anybody has an idea, I'll gladly listen to it. Alright, we're loading back in now. Get ready for these fireworks. Get ready, everybody. And here you guys go. Hello everybody, welcome back to the tourney. Everybody has, of course, as always, already completed their turn number 1, so this should get going real quick. And I can't wait to see what these guys have in store for us. Can already take a decent look at this map. It's an incredibly weird one. But as I said, maps can vary greatly in what they are. And I think I already have a favorite for which team has drawn the best possible map here. Just again as an explainer, guys. Just as an explainer, civs or teams got to choose which of their civs should have which resource in the capital. So it's no coincidence, for example, that Antiquity spawned with horses over there, and Kismic spawned with iron. That has been selected by the players themselves. So they got to plan that all out. Of course, they didn't know what shape the map would be, where the enemies would be. And the memes are already coming in again. Rabdag, after I underrated him going into the tourney, somewhat knowingly, he's played a really good game yesterday and carried his team to that 7-point game, tying things up at the top of the standings here. Cheese again with the anarchy joke. Those never get old, do they? Either way, I think I have one spy left to plant, so let's get that out of the way nice and early. Great, spies on everybody. Just what the doctor ordered for us here. And here we are, underway with the game. So again, the teams you can see in my name in the top right corner, or at the top of your screen as well. We've got Rabdag and Cheese playing as the Celts and Zulu, the feared double team of MPT. Both of them kind of in the north here, but very far apart. And the Zulu will quite like their starting position, I imagine. Lots of huts, but also lots of close enemies close by that they could potentially be bothering. And for the Celts, it's the very opposite. They're super isolated, and that's great news for them. He can take 1, 2, 3, 4 cities on fresh water, if I see that correctly. So he should be happy with his land as well, and he's free to make as many Gallic swordsmen as he wants. Great map for the Celts, in my opinion. Moving on, we've got players 3 and 4, that's Antiquity and Kismic together, of course. Everybody playing with their top 2 players, so there's no slouches in here, but I want to emphasize again that this is really top teams everywhere. Kismic and Antiquity, so both of them on the eastern side here, team southeast one could say, also quite close together here, or the only team really that's quite close together I should say. Sumeria a bit in the corner, not ideal maybe, but Mayans with the grassland cow nearby, that's juicy for them. They don't quite see it just yet, but once they find that, I'm sure Kismic will be incredibly happy about that. But both of their spawning spots, of course, would be great for agricultural civs. So many freshwater city plants possible there, so they're also with a great starting position. And them being so close together might even be more advantageous than Cheese and Rabdag's starting locations. But we'll see how that all plays out. Now for the last team, that's players 6 and 7, Byzantine Fire and Halu with the beautiful Babylonian color. I love that, I really do. I'm glad I didn't choose that for my spectator color, otherwise we would get orange Babylon right now. But I really love that color. Rome here in the very center, I think that is fine, at least with iron in the capital. Okay spot, not a lot of great city spots really, so ByzFire not going to be able to expand a whole lot, but following the trend of this tournament, he has played in both the games already before this one, and he has never made a lot of cities so far. He's always been at the center of attention, and I don't think that's going to be changing for this one, as Cheese is going to be able to pick up another hut there for himself. Just checking real quick, yep, nobody disbanded their anti-pop settlers, so we're all good. And for Halu in the corner as Babylon, I think that's pretty underwhelming. He would have liked to get involved a bit more, but maybe he can also grow huge here in terms of cities. He's got a ton of nice spots, and with his culture building, it's very much feasible, in my opinion, that he gets 4 or 5 cities with double border expand in this game if he chooses to go for the pure score pumping build. But that's not going to be ideal with the Celts facing up against you in the north. So I wonder how that's gonna play out then. It is a very interesting map. Oh wow, did it really skip just then? Oh, that's unfortunate. Just making sure. We should probably reload this, transcript this early. Okay, Kismic needs to reload, so we have to reload. I'm sorry guys, the turn apparently having skipped again today with the tag problem is super unfortunate. But at least we're not gonna have the Steam drop again like yesterday. So I'll hold on for a second here as we'll have to reboot again and get that reload going. Super sad, of course, super unfortunate this early in the game already, but what can you do? It's CIV3, it's an old game, but the fun and the excitement is way worth it later on, as we all know, so shouldn't be all that terrible actually. I already have the reload lobby up, and people are free to join in. Well, the tournament players, of course. Alright, so what do you guys think? Who's actually favored here? Ooh. This is quite interesting. This is quite interesting. I'm not sure. I really love Rabdag spot, but then again, Anti and Kismic being so close together is pretty interesting as well. Should be a decent spot for them. And again, Team Halu with the least favorable map, just like yesterday. Bad luck for them. 2 nights in a row they get kind of shafted by the map draw. I think it's pretty much inarguable that they didn't get a great map. But maybe the other side of that argument is what would be a great map for Rome Babylon? Maybe everybody's super close together. That would probably be good for them. But I don't really know what they were looking for specifically with that strategy, so I can't really evaluate how well that draw or that map roll plays into their strat. Maybe that's me being a noob expert. I'm supposed to be the analyst here explaining how MPT plays out, but truthfully, I'm not really all that sure how people usually carry with Babylon, so we'll see what kind of magic Halu has in store for us. Waiting on 2 players for the reload here, as we're about to get it back on the way. I'll show you guys the CIV picks again, maybe, so you guys can contemplate a little bit about what went on there and what you expect from this, especially with the map in mind that you've now just seen. Alright, everybody in the reload. This is about to get going really, really soon, as I always, of course, make you guys believe. Although I'm not lying, I truly do believe that, but it's never a guarantee, of course. Alright, autosave, 1 turn back for the turn skip. Lobby even reminding me of it. So kind by them, isn't it? Alright, we're already loading back in, folks. Was a rather quick reload this time around, and I'll remind everybody to mute again, of course, but here we go. The mutes have been reminded. A turn skip this early in the game will almost always have to be reloaded because there's so much going on early with the micro that could be crucial. Yep, need that grid again. What would I do without the grid? But yeah, we'll see. Actually, oh shit, I hope I'm not taking philosophy. I didn't fix my tech before reloading, that's my bad. But of course, with this being a very much spaced out map, not a lot of action here. Not sure if I said this already, but these are random MPT maps. I haven't really applied a huge filter while picking which of them I choose for the tournament. So really anything can happen in these maps. They could be super close, they could be super far. It's supposed to feel like actual MPT. Halu going, I love that play. That is something I think is very much underrated in ladder MPT. People going for the early roading if they already know that they're gonna be spamming cities. And Halu has correctly assessed the situation. He is in a corner and he can afford to spam cities early on. So I love that play. Like it a lot, really. And Antiquity has now also, oh, sorry, Kismic that is, has now also spotted that cow. Nice little cattle fields that he's about to settle pretty soon. That's why he's roading that hill. He wants to get that second city ASAP. Kismic, one of these players that pretty much always tends to get that settler out as soon as he hits size 3 on his capital, unless he knows there's somebody nearby that he has to defend against. But he tends to really prioritize that big time. He's now with the roading south. He's also looking to, well, get out on the map, I assume, but at the same time, that's going to be him hooking those horses. We'll see where everybody is headed towards. Nothing special just yet. Size 3 already for the Celts at Antrimont. You can see that agricultural bonus paying off. And that's the settler out for Rabdag. The road is also just completed, but he decides for a safer city towards the backline along the river. That is a very reasonable decision on his part. And settler also out for the Mayans here. Kismic walking it on over to that cattle. That is going to be massive. He's Mayans with dreamland, I gotta say. No forest, sadly, for that city, but that's the least of his worries right now. Oh, he can even use that forest from his capital for this city, so absolutely massive. He's gonna be building 2 granaries in these cities as soon as possible, if I, if I had to guess. Looks like Antiquity just got maps from this hut up here, so he probably has vision up until this area-ish. Man, alright. It looks like we have a drop here. Oh, oh, sad. How sad. It skipped again, and we have a drop. So, oh, that's so unfortunate today. This game, why does it have to be so bugged? This specific lobby. I'm so sorry for you guys, especially the viewers. Makes for a rather lousy watching experience. As now even my Steam is making trouble and giving me trouble booting up again. That is so unfortunate, guys. I'm really disappointed. Most more than everybody probably. Steam did disconnect there for a second. All right. Again, we're assembling the players for a reload, but it's really. I hope, can just hope though, that this was the last one of these issues. One more player left to join for the reload. Okay, we're all ready and in here. Looking to get it back underway. Big trouble again during the reload. Someone did not make it. Truly unfortunate today. I'm really sorry, guys. All right, guys. We have again assembled a reload lobby. Looks like it's gonna get going again here. Terrible night for CIV3 tech, but the gameplay should hopefully not suffer from this. Again, can only pray that things get better here. I'll try to end my turns in case that has anything to do with things, but whatever it is, we're getting back in here. As you guys can see, I'll remind everybody to mute again. And I'll try to remember to end turns every time, although I'm not particularly great at doing that, so we'll see how that works out. Oh, yep. Well, he still got the maps earlier, but he got barbs this time on the reload. That is just how things go with goody huts. Unfortunately, that's just CIV3 for y'all. First, first MP out here for Cheese, so action is about to commence as settlers come out all across the board here. We already discussed Rabdag settler from earlier. We've got Halu planting down here. Ooh, even with the pre-road, interesting. So he didn't even go for the 3 apart. He wants to maximize city spots, potentially. Or he just wanted a good city for corruption. But not a lot of bonus grassland there, so that's maybe a bit surprising. Cheese, again, he's got that first MP out. He might be going for a barracks or a settler next. We don't quite know what exactly he's doing there, but he's got a lot of good early scouting going. And I might have missed his scout actually dying. Oh no, it's on this hill. Alright, he's got that scout on the hill. Oh. Oh, but it looks like this wasn't actually a turn skip this time around. It looked a bit weird, but the number of years seems correct. Again, a lot of people here having to road hills early for their second city. That's not all that concerning if you get such a great city out of it, as Kismic just did down there. Alright, the pops just go as they go. With the huts, I really can't do much about that. The game is already difficult enough the way it is. So unfortunate if people suffer from this. And Cheese actually did end up going for the settler out of Zimbabwe. That is a surprise to me, I have to say. Wow, low HP on that Enkidu Moria. Also must have missed whatever went on over there. But Cheese is starting to make his presence known in Rome. ByzFire, of course. Just, yeah, if we can take one thing away from the games that he's played in the tournament so far, it's that he doesn't go down easily. And you can't really surprise him early with Jaguars, with Chasqui Scouts, with nothing. And same thing holds true here as well with the MP. He's remaining steadfast, completely protected at home. No settlers yet. Again, for him, it's a trend that he doesn't tend to go for these early cities. Quite opposite to what Kismic and Halu have been doing here. Second city down for the Zulu 2. That is Riot. Good scouting there by Antiquity, and he's gonna have to. He's gonna be able to have a big impact there. If he sends a few Enkidu over, that's gonna mean so much less pressure on himself and on Rome, which I guess Antiquity doesn't care too much about. Maya and Zulu at war. It looks like Cheese actually left that hill, and Kismic took the roll and came out ahead on it. Takes out that conscript warrior there by Cheese, and Cheese is gonna have to secure himself at home here, but he doesn't even know it yet. I don't think he spotted that Enkidu that's been making his way on over to him over the last few turns. So we'll see how he reacts once Antiquity arrives at his border. 2 cities that early is always a bit tricky to defend. At least you're not going to be able to defend and keep pressure on the map if the enemy is making their presence known. Rabdag really far isolated here. I think that is a really good spot for the Celts if you're him there, but we'll see how they'll play it. Of course, he's not going to be able to help his teammate a whole lot early, but Cheese being Zulu should be just fine on his own. And you can really see here, oops, as Rome and Sumeria. Oh, interesting. That's Golden Age given over. And yes, you can see these are the 6 best players in the tournament, elo-wise and pick-wise. The 6 first picked players. So, not elo-wise actually, that was a lie. SDN still exists. But what I mean to say is, people aren't typically making mistakes like that. Golden Age being taken here by Antiquity at a time when he probably didn't want it. I'm not sure having that one Enkidu in Rome really is worthwhile, taking that early Golden Age. Maybe should have at least gotten another city of before that. And now that mine on the plain wines, for example, is entirely useless. That's 6 turns of worker moves wasted for the next 20 turns. So unfortunate, of course, for Antiquity. We'll see how he's able to make use of that Golden Age. But what I just meant to point out earlier is that you can see here the same strategy for Kismic and for Halu pretty much in terms of city plans. But you're going to be able to see Kismic leveling up or getting population so much quicker in his cities as he just pop rushed a granary in Chichen Itza. So that point won't be as visible to you guys, but and either way, he's gonna grow so much quicker than Halu just because he's agricultural and has such nice land too, with the cattle there, of course. Now, how's Cheese gonna be faring at home here? He gets onto his road. I hope that wasn't a turn skip again. Because I don't think I had the turn ended, but either way, he secures the road with the Impy, and it looks like he's ready to reinforce. I wouldn't be surprised if he only had those two warriors at home, and he's yeah, keeping that one in Zimbabwe ready to reinforce Ulundi, should he need to do that. Yeah, there's no way he's got more than these two units, because if he had any more, he would be putting one on this mountain right now. This mountain is absolutely massive to hold on to for him right now. You don't want to let Sumerians into your backline. Great next city there, Sumer. It's a coastal city. I've been talking about on the Discord yesterday after the games that looks like Antiquity might get onto the mine. Doesn't, and he still hits into it. That was a great move by Cheese. The delay was such nice timing there by him. He knew Antiquity might go for it if he didn't immediately step onto the tile and reads him like a book. So far, things really not going in Antiquity's favor. He's being, yeah, kind of, mostly, well, falling victim to all sorts of things. Bad RNG on the huts is a smart play by Byzantine Fire, giving him that golden age. And then Cheese with the mind read. That's quite interesting. Rabdag might lose his contact warrior to Barbarians or to Halu, though. So that could be big going forward. I was just saying, though, I've been talking on Discord about how I feel that naval play has been heavily underutilized in the tournament thus far. So I like to see Antiquity get an early coastal city out. And of course, with all these 2-2-2 tiles, these are the best possible tiles you could have in Golden Age. All these tiles give you 2 gold, 2 food, 2 shield, so that is great. Alright. It looks like Cheese is having some issues there. Didn't notice his Impy dying actually, but he lost one over here. And yeah, Rabdag lost that warrior to the barbs, although that wasn't yeah, that's not unheard of in MPT at least. Tends to happen every now and then. Cheese with the early MP loss is a pretty big deal, though. He's now apparently gotten the promotion even from the bait that he successfully orchestrated on Antiquity a second ago, and with that, he's now moving out and looking to pressure the map with a veteran MP at this point. Samaria with the road completed should be safe, even if Cheese actually manages to sneak an MP on over there. But with the good defensive vision there for Team Antiquity, they should be more than fine here. Look at this great wall of vision. That's incredible. We're about 10-15 or something. And look at this. They have vision from the southern coast here to this tile, then to this tile across the lake, up until here. And then this warrior has vision all the way over here until here. And at this stage, the Enkidu warriors take over. So they have vision from coast to coast. They see everything that's going on there. I really like their defensive setup, and they're now going to be able to grow with the great land that they have. So I don't think they're going to be complaining about the map state that they're currently on. I like Halu getting his warriors out on the map. He's in the exactly right spots for my liking. That one rather defensive one, holding on to vision and holding on to his iron potentially as well. And then one warrior to yeah, each of his closest enemies or teammates. So he's been quite efficient with his scouting there. 4th city now out for Kismic. He's just got nuts land here. Finally he plants one off the freshwater, but that's not that big of a deal for him. He's already got 3 amazing ones there. It's gonna be tough to stop this Mayan pain train from taking off. We've already seen, though, Byzantine Fire with the very early Legion upgrade, and it looks like he's... I was just gonna say he might be taking that GA from his teammate Halu there, but they didn't end up doing that. A 1-city GA isn't something I typically love, but Byzantine Fire hasn't really been making a lot of cities, so yeah, he just made a settler, though. You can see he sent that Legion out there to plant his next city towards the west. He doesn't really have good city spots, so I really feel for him. Would have maybe liked this city down here better. That looks like a pretty decent one, but he might actually be going westwards there. Celts, looks like Rabdag trying to fight Halu off. That's terrible RNG for him, though. Oh, Lord, look at what's going on there for Team Cheese. They're really not rolling great. That's 2 warriors lost, I assume. I don't think he would have made an archer yet. But lost to that warrior, and that warrior could double move into Entremont. So, gotta be careful there if you're Rabdag to get another unit out there. But it looks like Halu decides... No, he does go for it! Is Rabdag gonna get a unit out? He does, and the archer reinforcing there. Good job taking care of business. Rabdag not playing with Halu there. But that was closer than it really should have been, thanks to some unfortunate RNG again for their team. Halu losing that warrior on the Celts though, meaning he's not gonna have great knowledge about how many cities they're expanding for, when they're gonna hook their iron or go for that upgrade. He's more or less in the dark about that for the time being, so that might be unfortunate for him. Second city out for Rome now, and he actually decided to go for the city on the hill there. So, yeah, not the worst one. Actually, I think probably better than the one that I had suggested. And he's roading on over there. Wouldn't be surprised if he actually ended up hooking these horses at some point, because they are surprisingly close for an iron spawn. Oh, man. Looks like Rabdag might have actually included a archer there on the initial combat. That is, of course, very frustrating if that truly is the case. And Kismic continuing that expansion. I'm sure he's going to go for another city plant on that hill down there. Freshwater as well, coastal as well. Love to see people getting involved across the water. And really, that could be the entire play for Antiquity and Kismic. If they scout the enemies well, and if they know that nobody has a, well, almost nobody has a coastal city yet, they really could just sit back with their great defensive line of vision there. Sit back, grow immense, and then keep on building units over to the enemy. That could be a viable play for them. And I don't really know what Team Cheese or Halu would do in order to stop that if they needed. ByzFire and Halu now communicating for that Golden Age that Biz might shortly want to take, but not quite yet, apparently. Which I agree with. Hold that thought, though. Sumerian capital is just empty? Oh, Lord, that's not looking great. Cheese does go for the hit. It's close, but the reinforce is in time, and Cheese doesn't even end up getting the kill. That was a shocker and a half there. But the hold comes in for Antiquity. And, oh, boy, that could have been a massive swing. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. The last time I've seen such an impactful hold in such a big stakes game might have been the Super Bowl earlier this week. I hope the Americans out there appreciate that reference. But wow, what a hold for Antiquity. It's nothing special, of course, expecting that attack to probably come through. But it was quite significant, and it got close for a second there. So good job pulling that one off. Kismic still on such low population everywhere. He must be spamming out settlers and workers more and more, as everybody still doesn't know the entire layout of the map. We'll see what the game plans start evolving into. Cheese still with another MP or two coming out every few turns, but looks like he's transitioning into some other units now as well with the archers at home. He knows that there's more Enkidu coming in over, so he can't just go for offense. He has to secure himself at home as well, and I wouldn't be surprised to actually see mathematics tacked by one player or the other here. And honestly, if Team Cheese and Cheese and Rabdag pop a lot of techs here, I could very well see them going for monarchy or something like that. If you Celts with such great land, pretty decent commerce, all on your own, you might actually be able to afford teching for monarchy. But I don't think that is a worthwhile play. It is fun, and it's never been seen before in the tournament game, I don't think. But since the tournament games are shortened, so it's not the 90 turn limit from MPT, but instead it's just 72, of course. That would then make it so you get way less value out of that government switch, which in any case is going to be coming in quite late, you have to imagine. Still some imps around there for Cheese. Maybe he's able to catch a road, a worker, or an empty city if Antiquity doesn't pay all that close attention. After that heart attack, though, I am sure he would rather secure himself at home a bit better. It looks like actually Antiquity trying to proactively clear out those impy. Not successful so far, but he's guarding his important tiles, and she's bringing on in these reinforcements, making sure the pressure stays up as Antiquity keeps on pumping out these Enkidu. It's interesting, but we see Rabdag also keeping on expanding there. Might pop a technology with that hut. Actually, not all that unlikely, since you can't pop barbs with a settler plant, and he's also not able to pop settlers, of course. So might get some gold, some maps, or technology out of that one. We'll see how it goes for him. Halu, after that very early second city, hasn't planted any more, though. That is quite surprising to me. He's doing what was... Oh, I don't quite remember who that was, actually, the game or games before, but he's now fishing for his golden age. Just with those two veteran bowmen trying to go out, kill something. Maybe that warrior that his teammates already sending on over. And he's looking for a golden age to maybe start stacking some chariots, if I had to guess. But he's really not made an effort to plant more cities or hook that rest just yet. So that's a bit surprising to me, to say the least. Let's check out if we're missing any action over here in the east. It doesn't look like. Oh, hold that thought though. Antiquity again outmoved there by Cheese. Might have been a rally point too. I didn't quite pay enough attention there. But either way, he's really not having fun on offense. Yeah, the mind games, mate. The mind games are really going on there. Cheese has had Antiquity's number so far in this game, and a much better showing from Cheese compared to his game number one, of course, with the very early Incan death. Some setting misfortunes there from his moderator duties, screwing up his game, allegedly. You never know what things look like behind the screen. But either way, this is a much better showing here. He's also in a pretty fine spot, but I'm not quite sure if he's ever going to be able to exert some kill pressure. He's really, I think, looking to buy time for his teammate here to grow strong. And Rabdag with the Celts in the corner. He's got that city quite far apart now as well. Some hillside cities as well, just to be sure. So I really like his setup as Cheese moves in onto the backline, but very quickly decides not to go for a feudal attack. And that is pretty much it then for him on over there. It looks like Antiquity now has enough Enkidu to guard rather all the relevant tiles. As we see another city plan for Kismic even further south than I originally anticipated. It's amazing really how unbothered these Mayans are. He's on 6 cities now, and I hardly think that is going to be the last one for him. Maybe another one over here. Could even be down here, but I don't think that's necessary. Here would probably be best, so you can use the forest city down here for him, and another one here. I think that's enough then, though. Maybe another one here if you really want to overdo it, but 8 cities is already massive in MPT. He needs to start getting on to produce some stuff then. His teammate's been in Golden Age for a while, so Antiquity not really going to be a huge offensive threat, I don't think. He's going to primarily focus on scoring, if I had to guess. And Cheese, he is not going for the chariot route, as we can see. No Golden Age taken yet, I don't think, for Byzantine Fire. And Halu might take his soon down here. But let's see if they actually mess that up. Because, hold that thought as I'm just quickly checking if there's any fighting going on. No, so if they're going to try to give over that Golden Age here, they have to be careful. They are, of course, top players, so I'm sure they know this. But just to be, just for you guys... if you attack into a bowman and the bowman wins on defense, of course, the Babylonian player gets his golden age. But here you have 2 bowmen stacked on each other. I don't actually know if you get that golden age from the defensive bombard underneath. if the unit with the defensive bombard is a bowman too. So I'm not sure how exactly that works. It probably will still give him his golden age, because as I said, the defensive bombard unit is a bowman himself. But you can never be sure, but at least I can't be sure, because I haven't tested it. Cities now for Halu, coming out again after those 2 bowmen he made. Got a settler out of Cap and out of Nineveh, so he's getting 2 more cities. He's also now recognized. He's in a pretty safe spot, and his direct opponent, the Celts, are gonna build for now, and they're content with that, it seems. Antiquity might be able to move on through there, but no, Cheese again with the sort of delayed reinforce on the forest. Holds his line firm. The elite warrior helping out too, making it extra difficult to get through that warrior wall. Kismic still super low on population everywhere. I can't help but feel that he's... Oh boy, he just got wrecked by that barbarian. 0 Fs given by that guy. He didn't even take a point of damage. Well, can't all go your way always, can it, Kismic? As he's now moving out with a settler close, dangerously close, one might say, to those barbarian camps in the southwest. We'll see if he sends any military to accompany that guy, but again, with this defensive line of vision that his team has set up, he can be absolutely positive that nobody is coming in to bother him. Even got some, backup sentries there with the warrior on the incense. So Team Antiquity is sitting pretty, and Kismic can therefore afford to send his military out to guard his workers and settlers. Shouldn't be worried about getting surprised at home. Well, unless you're expecting some miracle boat landing, as maybe Halu could prepare. But we don't know what everybody has been checking into, and neither do the players, of course. As we see, Cheese making some offensive moves in Rome now, but himself now finally been penetrated at home there. Antiquity able to move through on north, but at this point I don't think that's that great of a deal for Cheese. He's looking like he's looking to shut off that alley as well. Maybe he's going to try to bait with that worker again, but I don't think that's necessary at this point. You can just block all your tiles, and I think you're going to be fine with that. Again, I don't know if any of these guys tacked into mathematics, but that would be a pretty decent choice here, I think. So I don't think they're going to be lacking gold here. It looks like every team has decent commerce. Maybe not Team Halu, actually, because they don't have any rivers in their city areas. But once they take their golden ages, they're also going to be able to produce way more commerce than they have so far. Just out of curiosity, let's check in with the armies everybody's got. Geez, surprisingly many military units there for the time being. Nobody with any boats out yet, which is a bit sad. Looks like Cheese went for the hit there onto that Sumerian city, and as well an attack onto Vey. That legion almost went down. Holy smokes! She's really feeling it today, rolling those dice, and it's of course low risk, but my lord, that was a 1 HP legion, that 3 defense unit fortified on a hill, as you guys can see here, almost losing to that MP on defense. That's crazy, mate. I can't believe that almost just happened, but almost isn't good enough, as oh boy, as Eagles fans will probably know. Sigh of relief for ByzFire, and he's now gotten his golden age. I don't think that's terrible timing for him. I wonder how what he's gonna do with that. Maybe he's looking to stack some chariots, but he's not roaded towards that horse, and I think he's just gonna be making legions. And after yesterday, where he's had a way more impressive stack than I would have expected, I still trust him to make a powerful force out of those 2 cities he's got right now. I even think he made another settler. Could that be? Could that be that he made another settler out of Rome? And interestingly enough, it's the one team that isn't fighting yet that's considering going for mathematics. Lots of movement on the eastern front. Cheese even moving out with another settler. He's guarding his roading workers as well. Trying to get towards that iron across the river is a bit awkward for him. But nothing lethal so far, and Halu's really utilizing the vision that he does and doesn't have in order to empty himself completely at home. Hey, Kismic, thanks for pointing our attention towards that beautiful barbecue uh, that's unfolded in the south. People were looking to take bets on who would be the first player to burn their cap, and I can spoil you guys uh, with that beautiful emote that we have. It's Kismic. Well, not all that surprising if I'm being honest. Don't mean to be mean here, but he should be fine even with that. He's got well enough other cities producing that he should be able to live with that. Actually, another city down here could be great for score. I hadn't noticed that, but it's great too. And it looks like he's cleared up the barbarians mostly in the west, as well as Halu apparently is going to take his golden age from Byzantine Fire next turn. If I had to guess, that's what it looks like anyways. And as the turns trickle by, that's still disordering? Nah. Nah. Guys, I'm almost convinced that he's just doing this to make me look like a fool when I praise these guys for their elite level of play that I was expecting earlier. Dude, that can't be real, mate. You can't be disordering twice in a row. That's a bit laughable, isn't it? Zulu GA ends next turn, says Antiquity, and that's pretty interesting too. Tracking the enemy golden age is something I haven't seen done in regular ladder MPT yet. And knowing it down to a turn is quite interesting too. Maybe that's also an interesting heads up for us to see if Cheese might disorder in his cities. When the golden age ends, that's something that players sometimes struggle with. Keeping an eye on the happiness. Even units coming up there to Rabdag right now, as he's also on a lot of cities, but gonna have to make some units now to block all the tiles. Don't want to give up any roads to this Enkidu, albeit there's not really, well, any military force to speak of to back up Antiquity there on offense. Looks like G's still trying to sneak around and pressure him a bit at home, though. Antiquity can never fully rest. He's got to be attentive to all his cities. But that shouldn't be that big a challenge here. He's still some area after all. And it looks like an upgrade just went through. I don't quite know which one that was. It might have been a swordsman upgrade from Kismic, but I thought he might have already had that. No, it's probably actually the Galaxy Swordsman upgrade from Rabdag that we just saw on that loading animation. Looks like Byzantine Fire not even aware yet where the Celts are at. Not everybody's taking map making in these tournaments. Remember, they're also sometimes just relying on communication with their teammates or sharing screens, sending screenshots to each other. So he might not actually see what Rabdag's land looks like right now. And let's check in with him. Okay, Rabdag on that one Gallic warrior, Gallic swordsman. That's less than I would have expected. A regular Gallic swordsman. He's really just in builder mode right now. But it looks like he also might not even have upgraded that because it's not a veteran one. So he might actually just have built that one from cap. So not sure who actually was the one to upgrade with earlier while we didn't notice that. Either way, Cheese at home looks like he cleared out that Enkidu that had penetrated into his back line. Nothing much happening on offense anymore there. But it looks like Rabdag just got his golden age and the promotion out of the encounter on over there. Rome declaring war on the Celts. That must have been on over here. I missed that. But either way, that's a 5-city golden age for Rabdag. Can't be mad at that. He's looking to get to Gallic swordsman pattern in Entremont, I assume. And other cities, well, probably just gonna build those units as well. They're gonna be so valuable on this map. Huge amount of distance that he's got to cover. You can also still go for boats. I wanna see some boating, if for nothing else than for defensive vision. They are so valuable, so they're really underutilized in this tournament so far. Despite the game time limit being so short, I think boating just has to play a bigger role than it has so far in the tournament. But maybe some of these guys are just too proud for that. They want to make their massive builds, their massive doom stacks, and they don't want to invest into cheesy boats. I understand that too. That's fine, but horses being stacked now by Cheese alongside the swordsman that he's got from the Iron Colony there. He's in a pretty decent spot. It's just that he can't really utilize his golden age to build a whole lot, and he's not on that many cities, so a massive doomstack is not what I expect from him here. As Halu is moving on into the Celtic lands, he's not even taken his golden age yet at home, I don't think. Looks like he's still waiting to be given that, and he might actually be grabbing it on offense here at the hands of Rabdag. He hasn't seen, remember, he hasn't seen Rabdag enter his golden age on Antiquity that last turn, or 2 turns ago, whenever it was. And there we go. Halu just took his own golden age at home. That's what we were looking for. That's what I mean. So Halu might actually try not to lose his bowman there to the Gallic Sportsman, and might not be aware that Rabdag has already entered his golden age, especially since his teammate Cheese is so far away that it's quite possible that he would not have had the time to receive a warrior to enter that GA until now. 5 cities, excuse me, for Antiquity at this point, all quite close together, so he's not scoring very big. But he's, well, his golden age is probably over at this point, so he is just sitting at home building more Enkidus and archers, I assume. He's got the Kura out now, so finally the first boat of the tournament. Love to see it. That's very valuable, and you can even scout the Celtic backline coast with it. That's so worth it. You definitely don't want to get boated by these Gallics as Halu moves into Camel Dunham. No catapults, it looks like, for the Celts, but enough units to hold off against these bowmen either way. He's managing to guard that iron first and foremost, but he's also got enough units in the backline in order not to let Halu have any freebies there. I wonder what Mayans have been able to build up so far. Let's check in with Kismic there in his army. He's on 8 swordsmen. That's nothing massive, but decent enough, I suppose. He's still building up. Sumeria on purely Enkidus, that's just what they do. Decent mixture there for Cheese. Again, no huge military force, but he's going to be able to contribute once Rabdag moves out, I assume. Decent force already for Rome. They are quite scary for anybody once they get going. And Halu at home, still very safe. Still just entered his golden age, so he's going to be stacking chariots, I imagine, very, very soon. Could also go for a swordsman upgrade, in all honesty, because it doesn't look like his iron is going to be denied anytime soon. He even has put some offensive pressure on Rabdag now, so he has bought himself the time to row towards that iron. It doesn't, however, look like he's all that interested in getting swordsmen for himself. Since he's not really that mobile, he would probably also prefer horses there. As what's going on with Kismic here? Dude, I'm not even sure Kismic has taken his golden age yet, by the way, because I assume this javelin thrower over there is still waiting to receive that attack. But mate, why are you constantly disordering? What's going on over there? I wonder, maybe it's just the late hour for him. I really appreciate some of these guys playing post-midnight here in Europe. I certainly wouldn't be able to perform on this level if I chose to do that. Why'd he have to be the one? I don't know what he's referring to. Oh, maybe this. What the hell was that? Oh, it looks like Cheese might have disbanded. He might have had the money lady sack one of his units. Looks like his unit support is kind of exuberant at this point. He lost a unit to unit support cost, I imagine, and that's the one. I was confused here. I was thinking, is he going for some kind of Michael Jackson reference there? But then I thought, no, that song went a little bit different. But yeah, Money Lady definitely said he was the one. So down he went, and that's the colony. Unfortunate for Cheese, I guess. And Warrior on the Mountain getting the pillage off now too, as Sumeria and Maya are at war. Even the worker being taken there. Good decision by Cheese. I really like that. Alright, I have no idea what actually just happened. It looks like Cheese... No, never mind. I thought Cheese decided to attack into that javelin thrower to try and maybe take away the worker. but no, it was actually just the javelin thrower itself attacking into it. And no, of course, now I realize of course you would want to give over the worker to Sumeria, because for them it's a regular worker, right? Not a slave worker. So decent trade-off there at the javelin thrower, and that's something I've seen really never properly utilized in tournaments or in just regular MPT, if I'm being honest. People haven't really utilized the javelin thrower to its full potential, I don't think. And that is something you could do in regular MPT as well. Just farm workers for yourself or your teammates with that unit, fortify it on a mountain in your teammate's land, and have him suicide some regular warriors into that. That could be worthwhile, especially if you get it out early enough. Either way, one free worker for Antiquity, they're going to be very happy with that. And she's now fully removed, pretty much, from Sumerian lands. Looks like Halu was also cleaned up in the Celtic area. Looks like, oh, that's nice. It looks like Rabdag really didn't lose much cleaning out these units. And as I said originally, that's a really nice spot for the Celts to be in. He's also met temples in a couple of cities already. So he's definitely well aware that the scoring department here is quite important to be on top of. And the Mayans have now been spotted, I guess, by Byzantine Fire, who, as is tradition, I guess, for him from the previous two games, has been at home for quite a while. Galley's out right now. That means, if I'm not mistaken, that at least 2 players have researched map making. I might have just made that up, by the way, so I'm not sure if that's actually accurate, but at least some people have boats out already, so I'm not mad at that. I love to see it. Maybe Rabdag getting a few boats out soon would be cool. Could get involved there as well, especially the Mayan backline city's got to look juicy for him, although I doubt that they have great... Oh no, actually, Cheese had a scouting down there earlier, so they actually do know that Mayans are quite vulnerable in the backline, so maybe that's a boating avenue for Team Cheese, and that's the Curragh out in Loch Dunham. Keep track, guys. There is possible boating on this map, but again, I don't know if anybody actually did end up tacking towards map making, and if so, who that would be, because yeah, it's just nobody really has talked about that part of the game yet. Kismic does go for the city down here. I wonder why he wouldn't go for this one, but yeah, he takes the one over here. I guess doesn't really need the freshwater bonus in that city, but it looks like that's his 8th city of the game. Incredible, really, for MPT standards, and he's still so safe. I like the Curragh from him too. Gotta make sure that you're not getting boated from the back line. No seafaring civs are in here, of course, so nobody making those attacks from super far away. It's all very telegraphed if any boating is taking place. So better get out a Curragh or 2 in order to prevent any of that happening. And it looks like Rabdag's actually taking the old-fashioned approach on over there. In the west, he's roading south and having a stack accompany that worker army, or well, those 2 workers. Not all that massive. But I thought he might have kept a few Galaxies at home in order to set up a boating play. He might still look to do that some point down the line, as finally somebody other than Kismic is roasting some cities, although he himself is surely not immune to that, as we can see right here. Halu with the beautiful burn cap, that's worth another emote from my money. Anyways, not much has happened here on the offensive side, and it's not all that surprising. We've got a lot of good players in here who also have decent respect for each other. I imagine it looks like Rome about to plant that city over here in order to hook those forces, maybe. Although I shouldn't overblow that angle, it's just one of the only good cities he can plant. But this one here would even be better, so it might truly be about those horses and that second type of unit that he's hoping to unlock for himself there. At least it would seem that way. And he's trying to get some pressure over there onto Rabdag. Coordinating an attack with his teammate is really only going to be possible on the Celts. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic over there to see who actually ends up going for what play first. And if Rabdag can hold his own over there, or if he's going to be able to take out somebody before Halu and ByzFire coordinate anything onto him. Maya and Rome on some skirmishing here. Looks like Swordsman might have went down actually for Kismic, but he takes the mountain and takes away that vision from Byzantine Fire, who, well, couldn't even launch an attack anytime soon anyways, but always good to keep the information that your enemy receives minimal. An elite swordsman over there for Cheese. Maybe it's time to farm some armies, but his teammate isn't over here. Can't supply him with warriors to try and get that golden or that military grade leader rather. It looks like he made another settler out of Zimbabwe actually, but maybe that was the one who founded Lobane. Again, Cheese is the smallest one here, barring Byzantine Fire in the center. But still, it looks like he's heavily investing into army. Let's check in with him. Oh, it's not a lot, but it's certainly enough to hold his own for the time being. Oh, wow. Looks like Byzantine has been funneled gold by his teammate, and it's pretty good, right? With that force, 1v1, he's in pretty decent shape. If he's looking to 2v1 Rabdag with Halu, he would almost certainly be able to get the kill there. The only problem then is that Halu is not really in a position to support him with a lot of stuff. Well, that is an aggressive city plant there by Rabdag. He's taken the city south near the at the freshwater, near the horses as well, but he's maybe opening up himself to attacks from, well, on many fronts now is what I'm saying. Halu from the south and Byzantine eventually pressuring from the east. He's even planting a coastal city, it looks like. How lovely! It looks like he actually didn't really want those horses. He's looking to plant a forward city way forward onto Rabdag, if I read that play correctly. Maybe he's just using it in order to be able to road over there quicker. But whatever the reason is, he's gonna have a coastal city, it seems. And I love that. As I said, naval play has to be emphasized stronger here. It looks like even a road connection being formed between Anti and Kismic. Maybe they can trade some luxuries there and boost their score that way. They're for sure looking quite strong in the scoring area for now. Confidently #1 team in player score at this point. So they're looking to replicate their strong showing from game #1, where they already played together, and Antiquity not being able to play yesterday might have been one of the reasons why his team has had that disastrous performance there, at least a disastrous result. Rabdag now maybe a bit unsure. He's moving around his Gallic stack here, but the vision from Halu is flawless at this point. He sees everything, so you can't get through to Babylon, and that's gonna be a exclamation mark alerting Rabdag to danger that might be to come. This incredibly un-MPT-like city plant of Antium for Byzantine Fire. What's going on over there? He's looking to move his Gallics around a bit, but he's surely not going to commit everything to offensive play super far away, because he's got these legions on his doorstep now, and he doesn't really know what's to come from Halu, which, for all he knows, might be a horseman stack of some magnitude. So it's a really tough call at this point, and how far you really dare to move out with those Gallics. He's moved them onto the mountain. Well, decent spot for now. At this point, you're still pretty much playing both sides of the map, right? You're threatening Rome, but you're also able to use them on defense if you need them soon. And these legion, well, this vanguard is quite the announcement of things to come, if I had to guess. Cheese with his horseman regiments is scouting around on the map. I'm really curious where he's actually going with that. If he's got anything specific in mind. As we see more and more army movement come out, people are well aware that this isn't gonna be a game that ends on score alone. They're looking for kills, and I would be incredibly surprised if somebody ended up, if everybody ended up surviving this game until the end. We've got such volatile players is maybe the best word. as Kismic and Rabdag in this game. So I trust that somebody will get some kills out. 2 Kuras for Kismic and the galley. Yes, I love to see it. The map making paying off there for him. He might actually use this volcanic island over here that I'm not sure he knows exists to avoid the vision of this imp. He sees the imp though, so he's not gonna straight up sail into that guy's vision. And I wonder if he's gonna try to make any boating attempts on the Celtic border. That is the obvious target right now, but he might also just go for Babylon in the southwest. We'll keep tabs on that galley, as maybe while there's no immediate fighting going on yet, let's check if anybody else has got any galleys out. No, just the Mayans it seems. Not the Zulu, neither Rome, of course, who just planted coastal, and Halu, not even a Kura. I have to criticize that play. He's got 2 coastal cities now for quite a while. 3, actually. So there should be 2 or 3 Kuras out at this point, but he's really going all in on that bowman play, it seems. Whew, we have to see if that ends up costing him at some point. Settler comes out, he's keeping on expanding. Is that another settler over here? It is, so he's really playing big for that score. And that's what I mentioned earlier on Babylon. You can viably go for double border expand in many of these cities, and that's a lot of score that people might not expect, especially towards the end of the game when the land area really gets ridiculous. Now let's see what Kismic's got in mind for his galley play. It looks like he's actually killed that MP. Did he just straight attack into the MP with a regular warrior and win? Dude, that just doesn't feel right, does it? Oh, boy. Either way, he's now got a clear path with that galley. And I wonder where it's gonna go. I have to imagine it's Celts or Babylon, but it could very well be Cheese too, so keep our eyes out for that. And Rabdag with that Kura that could end up saving him was a very good choice to go for that unit, as more units end up being moved towards Verulamium, excuse me, and he's trying to clear out that legion over here. Succeeds in doing so, and that alleviates some pressure, at least. GA being taken now, at least, if not before. Of course, that's what I was talking about earlier. These guys don't really know who has gotten GA at what point. And Halu really playing far apart, planting far apart rather. It's not worried at all about being taken out, it seems. And I love that play again with Babylon. That's exactly what I suggested doing as well. It's actually a strategy that I guess I can talk about this now. While I was still playing some MPT, I hoped that I would get Babylon more often. And I was trying to experiment a little bit with strategies and seeing if I could play a strategy such as this, even more extreme than this, where I would just plant 4 or 5 cities super far apart, just spam nothing but bowman and culture buildings, and get top score in the game that way without even going for any kills. Sadly, I never really got the chance to play enough MPT games to get enough games of Babylon in order to test that strategy, but the Babylonian score pump might be pretty decent for this game. We'll see how it ends up. 50 gold, Byzantine Fire asks for again. Does he even have any more warriors to upgrade? Only 1, but maybe the upkeep is also giving him some trouble, as Kismic has found out about the volcanic island over here, so that's an avenue to boat around with, and it might be an indication that Halu is the one on his menu. I wonder how many units Halu's got at home. He's moved out with, well, let's say 10 bowmen in the north. 10 bowmen. How many does he have other than that? 5 more in the east, so 10 in all his cities combined. That's worryingly little, honestly. I don't know how many of them really are here in the south. If he ended up getting voted there, he'd have to be criticized rightly for not going into Kuras at all, as Luke Dinham now on fire. I wonder how that happened. Oh, he doesn't have any luxuries, so the size 3 could have just caught him off guard. Those first should probably be hooked at some point. Looks like Byzantine is expecting to be killed, though. He saw the Galax move out towards his cities earlier, and now he sees Cheese arriving nearby. Just the archer stack from Sumeria coming in, and of course Antiquity and Kismic don't know about that, about Cheese moving out a lot of units. Otherwise they might start playing towards him now. But if they had vision of that, I'm sure that might actually move Oh, was there not any units in that galley? He might move them in from Bonampak and Tikal now. Now that he's found out about a path towards the enemy. He's gotta make a play with that though, otherwise the map-making investment would not be worth it whatsoever. Wonder what angle they're looking to attack Byzantine Fire from though. He's got lots of legions still at home. He hasn't moved out with that stack. And it's going to be very difficult to really take out Rome, to take any of these roads even, with all of these massive 3 defense units blocking these tiles. It's really Greece on steroids. It's Greece with an offense. So you don't want to deal with that if you can avoid to, but it looks like that's the best kill that Rabdag and Cheese can find, and they're coordinating just like I expected Halu and Byzantine Fire to coordinate for an attack onto the Celts. It looks like it's actually Team Cheese who are going to manage to strike first. Halu just not close by enough to get involved here early enough in order to keep Rabdag honest. He's keeping on moving that settler further and further north, but I think he's going to plant where he is right now. Yep, there we go. Hasn't moved that unit that turn, and the road between Team Antiquities members also keeps on extending. 20 turns left in the game, as you can see broadly announced on the screen right here, and people are starting to make their moves for some plays. Zulu and Celts closing in on Rome. Halu moving up his bowmen from southwest, and the galley from Kismic's also on the way. He hasn't moved it out yet, so I'm really curious if he's loaded up with swordsmen, what his overall plan is. Again, people can just play the scoring game and get 5 points without taking any kills, but maybe once you've secured that scoring victory, you would like to ideally then get some kills on the board as well. Let's do the quick math here on the score. I don't really need to pull a quick calculator for that, do I? So for the score, we've got Team Cheese with 247. We've got Team Antiquity with 290. Wow, that's a huge gap. So 247 for Cheese, 290 for Antiquity's team, and Team Halu with 211 is that. So Byzantine Fire and Cheese, really some low scorers here holding their teams back in terms of the scoring victory. They're gonna need to find some kills if they want to punish Team Antiquity for just scoring and getting points that way. Second galley out for the Mayans. I love it. If that's some swordsman on there, he really could be doing some damage soon. And I wonder who he's got in mind as his next, or as his actual target here, as Cheese keeps on moving in towards Rome. I wonder where they're gonna hit. They're gonna have to try and cut some roads and pressure. They're moving in right now, but I doubt Rabdag's gonna hit right away. Is he gonna try and take the roads out of way, or is he just straight up attacking into the city? Cheese isn't even here with his archers take yet, so I'm a bit confused, but it looks like Vey is going very low. Byzantine Fire might not have expected this. He's now moving in units rapidly, and it looks like Rabdag is not going to be able to break through there. That's his Gallic stack gone. Well played from Byzantine Fire. It looked close for a second, but that's all of the Celts kill potential gone here within the blink of an eye. Nicely done by Byzantine Fire on the defense. Ends up losing that worker, but that price he is ready to pay. No issues there for him, I'm sure. And Rabdag being beaten back here. It was a decent enough attempt, but I'm sure Byzantine Fire saw it coming. He knew about the units being somewhere in that area. And now Cheese's archer stack is kind of caught in a limbo here. I don't think you want to keep on moving it to Rome. There's no chance you kill with that alone. So what are you going to do if you're Cheese here? Let's check in with what Rabdag's got left at home, and if he's got any more plays to make. It's got a lot of archers and some Gallics left, so maybe they can try and attack Byzantine Fire from 2 angles, but they've just blown their major attack force, so it's going to be a difficult battle uphill. Antium would be the best city to take out, but it's on a hill, of course, and it's got walls, so I'm not sure you're ever going to be able to break through that. At least not without bringing catapults, which at this point is not going to happen anymore. Kismic out with his boats though, and I love to see naval play getting rewarded. The question is how empty at home Halu truly is, but I have to imagine after that Gallic stack just got cut to pieces by a Byzantine fire, he's going to communicate to his captain that, hey, the Celts have gotta be weak at home, at least comparatively, because they just lost all of their work they've done building up. Kura out for Cheese as well now is a good play. You need that naval vision, especially if you want to make offensive plays with your, well, with as many units as possible. Looks like Cheese still hasn't given up on the play yet, though. Looks like he's closing in on Rome, and that is, I guess, his avenue at this point. If he's threatening Rome and then Rabdag comes over with some archers and Gallics onto Antium, maybe, just maybe, if you split the Roman forces into two, you could be able to take out a city that way, but I just don't see it happening at this point anymore. The attack just wasn't fruitful enough for that to happen. Let's check in with what Rome actually lost. Yeah, look at this. He's massive at home still. I wonder if he even lost more than 2 or 3 legions there. Brutal results. And I don't think he's going to go down during the remainder of this game. Still, the big wild card are these 2 Mayan boats, though. He's moving them around separate arms of that island. Maybe a good choice, keeping one or the other hidden from any enemies that might spot him. But look at this, that's exactly what we've been talking about. Halu now, after his teammate defended so well against Rabdag, he's smelling the blood in the water, and he's going to try to get in onto Rabdag on the Celts, I think. But that might leave him vulnerable, as if he heard us, though. He's now reinforcing at home with the swordsman and with the chariot. So he's not leaving himself completely empty. But still, I wonder if Kismic can make a good landing happen over there in the east. And so far, we don't see a lot of movement yet. I would have expected Rabdag to maybe move out again immediately with his stack towards Rome, but really what this could also be is just a defensive measure. Or for Team Cheese, you've got Babylon in the south, who almost certainly is going to try to move out for Rabdag now. So what they are thinking is Rabdag has just exposed himself massively at home. So they're probably going to go for a 2-people attack onto him. So maybe Cheese is just keeping these archers around on Rome to make sure that Rome can't fully join in on the action over in the west. And he's hoping that alright, that must just have been a skirmish for vision. I just got scared for a second. No, what I was saying is that Team Cheese probably banking on the fact that Cheese might, or that Rabdag is going to be able to defend himself and hold his own against Halu if Cheese just manages to bind most of Rome's units at home as well. Maybe that is the play here. Looks like they might not actually end up committing for any more kills, at least not within the next 10 turns, right? You can still look for kills in the last final turns of the game, and that then of course is great value because the chance of you being recaptured is just so low. We gotta keep our eyes though on these Mayan galleys now. He's got them ready in the east, and he's able to boat and land Halu near his cities starting next turn, so might get interesting over there. Halu's still really not all that close to Rabdag, who's again gathered a force of Gallic swordsmen, so maybe I spoke too soon and he's actually gearing up for another try on offense. You can see every time the turns end, lots of troop movement in Halu's land. He's clearly got one direction in mind to go, and I like to see that for him. We want of course aggressive play, and we want kills to come through, and especially these last couple of turns, as I said, are always the prime opportunity for people to take some kills, get on the board without risking a recapture. And the Mayans are getting their road out as well, so it's not like he's just purely relying on naval plays in order to get that kill. He's also maybe trying to coordinate, maybe even with Sumeria, because both of them could be using this road at some point in time. Might be trying to coordinate a play onto Rome as well. Byzantine Fire, the poor guy again being at the center of attention here. He's going to have to defend for this entire game. I feel like I don't think he's going to be able to get involved on offense at any point here, although he could still be making galleys in Antium. But the fact that Halu, oh no, I'm sorry, Halu has a Kurat out over here now. Looks like he just made his first boat. So the fact that Halu hasn't made any galleys yet makes me think that ByzFire also doesn't have map making and is therefore never going to go for any naval plays. But he would be in a good spot to launch landings from Antium. The Celts are quite exposed there on the east, so you could definitely range some cities from there, but no Kuros for him, as you can see. And just the one for Halu, so that means none of them in the west, where he's so open. I can't help but question that decision. Let's see if Kismic actually ends up going for first landing this turn, or if he wants to wait until he can move both of these boats over to the east. Galleys now also for Antiquity. Let's see that we're not missing anything. It looks like nobody attacking just yet, though. And Jesus, Archer Stack has actually moved through Rome for the time being. Might actually look to pressure the Mayans, or just distract some enemies. Let's check in with Halu. Has he made another Kura? He has not, but he's got a ton of bowmen. And another city, another coastal city even for Rabdag, that is liable to getting boated. Although I don't think Rome or Babylon have ever scouted all that far up north. I don't think they ever got past this iron here, so they might not actually be aware of how boatable Rabdag really is on multiple fronts, right? Especially with horsemen, you can range every single one of his cities from a boating play. Halu's now slowly shifting his military forces up north, though I like that. He's going for the killing blow. The question is he going to have to pay for it? But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case just yet. Kismic has moved both his boats on top of each other here, so it looks like he's going to go not this turn, but maybe next turn or something, as we see horsemen also being loaded into some Sumerian boats. So that's 3 galleys actually, nicely done. Antiquity saving up here and waiting to move out in a coordinated manner. There he goes. I wonder what they're gonna go for it. It looks as though he's got vision of this Celtic Kura, right? So he's well aware of where he can or can't sail without being spotted. But I wonder if his actual intention is he could go here. Oh, he didn't go here. Oh, had he gone here, he could have sailed here and then gone over there maybe. Oh, I really wonder where he's gonna go. It looks like he's going for a play onto Halu, but because wherever he's moving now, he's probably gonna get spotted by Rabdag. Either way, though, people are raking up their stacks, and movement commands as Rabdag now sees Halu's massive bowman squad moving north. He's gonna think twice about moving out with those Galax now, as Cheese still bothering Rome a bit. His archer stack now shifting towards Mayans, though. More cities being planted everywhere. And I wonder how this is going to go. More boats being made at home. I love to see the focus on naval now. And I'm still not sure where Antiquity is actually going to go with his galleys. Rabdag's looking to make another score plant happen on the west coast here. And if that city comes down next turn, good thing that he reinforces it. But if that city comes down next turn, that might be the prime target for an attack here by Team Antiquity. Halu even disordering there in Nineveh. He must have rushed out something, maybe more culture buildings. He's so massive in land area, got such a massive bowman stack too. Well, that doesn't look all that massive just yet, but you just wait until he fully transitions his army over there, and Rabdag might get into some hot water. Combine that with the boating plays from both members of Team Antiquity now, and I really don't know who's gonna go down first here, if anyone. Because remember, guys, these are some high-tier players. They can tank a whole lot without going down. I wonder how that's gonna go. Another Kura out for Cheese. I like that. Again, you need some naval sentries, and Halu definitely has underinvested into these so far, as I'm concerned. He had made those chariots early, but he's never actually gone for a horseman upgrade, interestingly. I think he's just using all that gold to fund Rome's legions, and he's gonna have to make do with his bowmen. Where is Antiquity moving though? It looks like he might actually go around the western coast, and Kismic's also not landing just yet. Everybody taking this really surprisingly slowly. Nobody making any hurried landings. More and more Kuras coming out onto the map from every party at this point. And it's really such a careful game here from everybody. We don't know as well what Kismic's got in these galleys. I have to imagine it's horsemen, or rather swordsmen rather, because he doesn't have any horses hooked, does he? He's got his iron hooked. Where is his horse actually? Oh, it's this one here. Alright, he's got no horses hooked. So it's gotta be swordsman in there. Nothing else would truly make sense. Still unsure of what... Oh yeah, good call there by Kismic to save. Oh. I was gonna say maybe he's going for an attack, but of course that would only be next turn then, I assume. But no, it looks like there's some issues there for him. Interesting, the issues these guys. Alright, he went AFK to get it. That's all fine as well. Don't think his full attention is needed during this turn. He's got good vision. He knows nothing's really threatening him thus far, although some archers are coming over. There we go. Augustudorum looks like it was just planted by Rabdag there. So maybe that's the next target for enemy boating. Just want to see where these guys are looking to attack. Cheese is doing here a good job of planting these coastal cities only when he knows that there's no enemy boats out. And interesting, we've got another turn going by without any landings here. Of course, Kismic is probably AFK right now, getting his charger, but even Antiquity, he's just got these boats parked. Rabdag moved. Oh, true. I was gonna say he disbanded that Kura. Same thing for Cheese. He had a Kura out east, and I wondered, did he just move that back? Is he looking to upgrade Kuras or something? But no, it must have disbanded to gold. And it's always the most inconvenient units, isn't it, that get lost to the debt that keeps accruing. And that could be massively impactful for Rabdag down the line. Losing that vision there, as well as Cheese losing his on the eastern side, makes them that much more valuable to boating place. Now that city is good in a sense that you see enemies unable to boat into your backline cities without you noticing, but the coast is now unguarded, and Antiquity can take his time boating on over and considering which cities he's actually looking to go for. If he's got 3 full boats here, you've got to imagine that that would be enough to take out Augustudorum if Rabdag doesn't reinforce in time, which he might very well be able to do. He's got the roads necessary to reinforce with Gallic swordsmen from capital as well as Verulamium, but Halu actually gearing up for his attack at the same time might make it super difficult for Rabdag to defend if Antiquity actually chooses to go on over there. I still do wonder. I haven't heard anything back from Antiquity or Kismic, and it looks like... Oh wow, I didn't see that, but it looks like Kismic just got a sentry taken out there, and a leader was created by the Zulu. That is super unfortunate, of course, because I don't think they're going to be able to form that army unless they get a kill over there and secure a city where they can build the army in. But that's massive. The military grade leader. Oh, it's got... Where has it gone? Oh, up there. It's got 3 moves. I completely forgot about that. With the 3 moves from that unit, he might actually be able to get it home in time. I thought it was just 2 moves on that, but no. Rabdag has actually chosen to go through onto Halu, though. Interesting, he's seen the bowman stack in his land and has decided to flip it and go for the offensive play. And there might just be a whole lot of action about to go down within the next turn or two on the west coast. We've got Rabdag's Galaxy stack onto Halu. We've got Halu's Swords and Bowman stack onto Rabdag. And we've got both Anti and Kismic with boats near each of those aforementioned players, so it might just get crazy in a second here. I'm almost positive Cheese might be about to lose that great leader if Byzantine Fire is able to outspeed him, but Cheese is probably the quickest player we know, so can't quite be sure about that. Looks like Antiquity is going for that landing this turn. He's not going to be able to do it with the numpad, going to have to manually unload those units, so that's going to give Rabdag a bit of a heads up. Oh, mate. Antiquity already knowing that the landing might be failing. Decent chance of that happening anyways. And it's a lot of action that's been ramping up over these last 2 or 3 turns here. Everything's coming to a head now. All at once. It's getting crazy, guys. I hope everybody's still watching and awake after that delay. Halu's still moving out with the stack, even though the enemy has just moved into his land. And there we go, a lot of unit movement. You can see the landing on to Augustodurum and Halu moving on through to Verulamium. Good reaction by Rabdag to get into his city. It looks like Antiquity got the landing off in time, though. And let's see where the fronts break first. Good cut onto the road by Antiquity. Is that enough to take out the city? It's just 4 horsemen. It looks like 2 of them might have gotten stuck in the boats actually, but it's getting close there. It just barely seems like Rabdag has enough in there to defend. And yeah, again, I think maybe 2 of these horsemen actually got stuck in the galleys. That would be unfortunate, but still, surprise landing coming through. That Kurov disbanding almost costing Rabdag big time. And the most hilarious part of this all, as Antiquity retreats and cuts his losses, Halu didn't see a bit of that. Had he just moved a single of his units onto this tile, 1 tile west of his stack, he could have seen the landing by Antiquity, and that might have given him some valuable intel there. But it did not end up moving on over there. So I wonder what that means for him. Meanwhile, we completely missed Cheese moving on in there with his horseman stack. He might actually be able to get through to Quirigua. I'm pretty sure Kismic is not AFK at this time anymore. Otherwise, Antiquity might have said something, and looks like he's also continued the road. Cheese was able to secure his military-grade leader and get him back home safely, so I wonder if he's going to be able to make any last-second plays with that. Maybe even a boating play could be on the menu here. But Kismic's got to be careful not to die now. He's got that open city in the backline. If any player is patient and attentive enough to try and go for that backline kill, it's got to be Cheese with his horsemen over there. I wonder how Rabdag's going to play it on offense, though. He's pretty much cornered in by these bowmen now, so I wonder if he's going to try to get out while he can, or if he's going to try to somehow push forward, which is incredibly difficult with the wall of defense that Halu is mounting there. Oh, I can't believe what we're watching right now. It's so many aggressions on so many individual points of the map, but nobody breaking just yet. We gotta keep our eyes on Kismic, though. He's trying to defend against these horsemen, it seems. But as Cheese is moving a lot of units right now, looks like he didn't have any more moves left. He's attacking into Lagartero, I believe. Another landing took place at Verulamium, but it looks like that was defended. Lagartero almost going down there, but combat is still going through. Another swordsman moving in should cut that attack short, though, and that was scary for a second there for Kismic. Looks like he wasn't really a threat in Quirigua there, based on the movement points that Cheese's units didn't have anymore. But, oof, scary moment or two in the western part of his empire, able to fend off Cheese, who has been making a lot happen with very limited means in this game, I gotta say. Rome still just holding down the defensive end here. Can't really fault him for that. But I wonder, has Cheese gotten his military leader home yet? No. It's going to move end of turn into Isandlwana, I assume. And he's going to have 8 turns left to load up that army. He might make an MP army, actually, and go for a 3-mover army. Maybe he's got some horsemen left over that he's going to load up. Really wondering. He's got 1 of them. Maybe he's making more. And he's going to try to find something before the game timer expires. Yeah, that leader is going to get home safely. What a crazy turn of events. Popping that army down here and getting it all the way home within like 5 turns. That's just 3 movement point units for you right there. Halu still got a serious threat onto Rabdag though, and he's seeing archers on top that might tempt him to actually attack there pretty soon as the swordsmen get in anyways. And Rabdag, some of his best defensive units are actually concentrated on offense right now. He's waking them up, and he might just end up moving them home at this point. Looks like he's attacking onto the mountain though, and Halu doesn't seem to be ready to reinforce that. If he gets through there, and he does, that could be big, but now he's already getting hit back by Halu. Does he end up losing the mountain? No. Wow, it looks like he rubber banded there, which is super unfortunate. But either way, he's gotten through with at least 3 more or less healthy Gallic swordsmen onto Eridu, and that's a threat that Halu is going to have to calculate going forward as well. He's blocking the tiles off nicely, but also Rabdag on the threat at home. Halu and Anti both still on him there. He doesn't want to end up breaking here. He wants to prove me wrong and show that he's not a player that is very easily killable here at the end of MPT games. He's definitely kept up his attention so far, but now with the reinforcements coming in from Babylon, and still Rome as the unknown X factor from the east that could get involved as well. I'm not sure if Rabdag's gonna have enough stuff in order to survive this one all the way through. Halu's still primarily trying to mass score. It seems like more and more settlers coming out there. Only 8 turns left, but doesn't stop him from playing for that land area. Let's check in with the scoring math actually, as I don't think any combats are currently ongoing. Still no boating actually come through by Kismic. He's taking his time with that one, and that might be a good idea, especially since the Celts could retake a city if you don't defend it well enough. But let's take a look at the scoring situation right now. Got Antiquity and Kismic with 379 score. 379 for Team Anti. Team Cheese with 312. 379, 312. And then Team Halu with 281. Okay, that's quite interesting there. I'm not sure Halu planting more cities is actually gonna do a whole lot in that regard, but if one player dies, that scoring balance can shift drastically within a short amount of time. A few turns can be enough to have a team go from leading scoring to last place in scoring if you lose one of your high scoring players. So definitely want to make sure to get as much score as possible and grab that safe bounty for the scoring lead. Halu has managed to plug the holes here, it seems. So Rabdag's not likely to get any further forward with those Gallics that he's punched through with. But actually, the landing coming from Kismic at any moment now. I expect him to still wait for the galleys that he sent out as reinforcement, but still, that landing could throw a wrench into Halu's plans. He's sending a ton of bowmen out eastwards right now to, I guess, secure vision and make space for the cities he's looking to plant. Maybe even hook those luxuries eventually, although not enough time left to do that, I don't think. And all that's going on, Cheese has gotten his army home safely, so I wonder when we'll see that moving out, and if it's indeed going to be a horseman one, or rather one with swordsmen in it. Halu is looking to pressure 2 cities at once, it seems. He's trying to take the road to Augustodurum, rather, I believe. And Rabdag still hasn't moved those Gallics there. I guess keeping them around for pressure in this case might be better than actually attacking anything with them, because they're binding a lot of bowmen at home this way, but if he attacks into them, he takes out 2 or 3 at best, but this way he's able to bind 10 of them at home for Halu. So that's actually probably the correct call there, not to move them anymore at this point. Anyways, Rabdag-'s probably busy enough managing affairs at home. It's really tough there. He's got those stacks in his land. He knows that people are boating him from the west, and he's still got boats from anti-north that might unload onto him any second. And the threat of Rome boating from the east can also not be ruled out completely, at least from Rabdag-'s perspective, because he doesn't know that they don't have any galleys out in the field. Kismic has now transported his main military force to the front, looking to threaten Rome apparently. Yeah, Biz, I'm sorry, but being in the middle of the map is just a bit awkward. And that's the archer for Cheese. Interesting, an archer army. I wonder if that is actually the best call. It's of course super difficult to attack into, but especially Rome might actually be able to just tank that and hit into it. I'm not a fan actually. Why make the archer army? Well, he didn't have the iron hook, so I guess he couldn't make a swordsman army. But I wonder if archer is really the best call. Well, I'll see how he utilizes it, and I can't wait to be proven wrong on this one. But I wonder really where he's going with that. He might actually be more likely to take out Samaria than Rome with it, just because I can't see these legions going down anytime soon. Massive stack movement from Kismic and from Halu. That's why the game is lagging a little bit, but the turn was completed successfully. As you can see, Halu is still trying to get more cities out, but people closing in onto Byzantine fire from all angles now. And actually, that could be the avenue for Cheese to make massive use of his army, is if Kismic and Biz use up their military forces on each other. It's quite plausible that Cheese might be the victor of that engagement and end up able to pick up the scraps of the fighting there. Interestingly, Byzantine fire has even sent some units forward as Cheese's archer stack has arrived onto the Mayan mainland. The Romans want to get in on that action, and now it's just colorful mishmash of units everywhere. Kismic also transitioning some boat pressure northwards is interesting. I thought he would just stack those boats down there to attack Halu at some point, but it's clear at this point that Kismic and Antiquity aren't concerned about their scoring lead. They just want to survive and get a kill on the last turn or two, because they're looking great. They're in absolutely phenomenal shape in terms of scoring. So maybe that's all they need, is just to hold on at home and get another kill or two before the game ends. So far, the best game performances in terms of scoring was Team Antiquity in Game 1 with 7 points, and Team Cheese in Game 2 with also 7 points. Is anybody going to be able to break that scoring record here and get 8 points out of a single game? I doubt it. You'd need 3 kills on top of the scoring victory here for Team Antiquity in order to accomplish that. But these 6 turns that are left in this game might be just as eventful as the entire last couple of games that we've played. These guys really know what they're looking for here, and the grasp is tightening around Kismic at home as well. He's got the stack on Byzantine. Cheese has got his army on Byzantine. Cheese has got a stack on Kismic though, and so does Byzantine himself. So it's really back and forth, Uno reverse, triangular shape circus that's going on here. And Halu just keeps on penetrating deeper into Rabdag-'s land. I wonder what his overall plan is. He's moving in onto Entremont now, but end of turn attacks the road north of Verulamium. It looks like he's going to be able to take it maybe this turn, but no, his entire stack just got shredded there, and that's a huge alleviation of pressure for Rabdag. And wow, I have to praise the game engine at this point for not breaking during the end of these turns, because there's so much going on every time. It's really remarkable that the game's not breaking at this point. We had Kismic clear out the attacking force from the Romans here, I imagine. And at the same time, Halu, huge stack movements there in the Celtic lands. He's still got the Bowman and Swordsman stack in a great spot that is absolutely impossible to attack onto. But now Kismic is moving his boats toward the Babylonian lands, and that means Halu can spot them, can spot those galleys on the western border Doesn't know about the two ones, the two more southern ones for now. But maybe that one that he's just seeing outside of Erido right now is gonna alert him of the presence of more to come. So I expect Halu to now sharpen his attention and pay more of it towards his home front, as he's still trying to make a kill happen onto Rabdag. It's not all in vain, but he's not gonna get a lot of support from Byzantine Fire, because he's gonna have to deal with a huge swordsman stack. Look at this. What is that? 30 swordsmen from the Mayans, and the Cheese forces that have been streaming in here could also at any point unleash onto him, could double move onto any of his cities from that forest here, for example. So you don't want to play around with Cheese there. And remember, Byzantine Fire had vision of that great leader, and in moves Cheese. He knows very well that he can't hide the fact that he's got that army. Everybody's well aware, and everybody is moving on, and look at these armies approaching each other. This is truly what I had in mind for this tournament. It's 843 MPT, 3 parties smashing each other's heads in at the same time. We've got 2 theaters of war right now. Well, kind of 3, but it looks like Cheese's attack on Kismic is also about to fizzle out within the next few turns. But those boat landings that are coming in right now, actually, we have Kismic boating over those units. That's 4 swordsmen. Is he going to hit into a? Sure, he might be. But Halu moving units on over just in time. I don't think he's going to be dying here as Kismic boats over those swordsmen. I don't think he's even hitting with them, because he knows that Halu just reinforced there with a lot of units. Wonder what he decides to do with that in the end. He isn't putting them back into the boat, though. One of the boats... Did one of those boats disband to the money lady? It must have. Don't think he would have lost it or disbanded it, so... that's interesting. He just landed those swordsmen, and he's keeping them around for now. So again, everybody just teasing us here that no huge attacks coming through. Antiquity is planning his landing force here. He's been stacking galleys on his border for the last few turns, and I expect him to get in on Rabdag again very soon as well. After Kismic has landed, though, it looks like Halu is going to be fine for the time being. Maybe Kismic's looking to get onto this mountain here, because he still hasn't moved that force yet. But he's also got to worry about what's happening at home. He's lost his road connection into Palenque. Let's maybe investigate that city, because doesn't look like anybody's going for bigger stack attacks anymore during this turn. Let's investigate Palenque and see what's going on there. This is shaping up to be the great finale we all had hoped for in this game. It's only the 3rd game of the tournament. Alright, that is a lot of swordsmen there in Palenque, so he should be fine if Cheese ended up choosing to attack into that city. The game again, it's on its breaking point, it seems. Kismic moving his stack in onto Rome. Lots of swordsmen, no archers in there, so Byzantine Fire could contemplate attacking into that, but it wouldn't be a wise call from my stance here. Rabdag still with the Gallic swordsman forward. That makes it so awkward for Halu. He can't leave himself completely open at home, because there's 2 stacks of enemy swordsmen around his cities that he's got to deal with. That's pretty annoying there if you're Halu. Kismic's saved his movement points on these swordsmen, and I wonder where he's going to look to move them towards. He's moved in onto Rome too, and Cheese wants to get in on that fun. Still not quite sure where he's actually going to be hitting, if he's going to try to cut the road from Rome and then retake if the Mayans get the city, or whatever is actually planned there for the Zulu. But he's watching and he's got a plan. Halu also with his stack, he's just woken it up. He can still move this turn. Gotta remember, it looks like actually Rabdag might be attacking into it. But no, I don't think that is the case, because that would be a very dangerous attack. But Antiquity at the same time, he's landing Rabdag now. He's got a lot of archers landed onto Augustodurum, and it might be the last turn for Rabdag in this game. He's gonna have to deal with a lot of bowmen at his capital, and that bowman stack, unknowingly, Halu perfectly coordinated that attack with Antiquity, and it looks like Anti might be able to take out Rabdag. He is. Sumeria gets the kill there. And Rabdag is the first one to fall in our top match here of the tournament so far. I guess we're gonna have to reload that kill, but that was nicely done by Antiquity and Halu, who unknowingly coordinated that perfectly. Halu blocking the road from the enemy capital just in that turn that Rabdag needed the reinforcements to fend off that landing. So unfortunate for Team Cheese, but very well done by their opponents. That was a good kill there, nicely executed. And we'll have to see if we can reload that without too much trouble. But what a start to the killing fiesta in this game. I hope we're gonna see 1 or 2 more kills there. But we're about to get rolling, hopefully, after Antiquity opens the fireworks. 6 points for his team if they can hold on to that #1 scoring spot, which seems all but certain at this point. And another kill or 2 would surely be useful for them. Turtle format, yeah, everybody really getting a better sense of strategy for this tournament now. Turtling up, trying to get that scoring lead, and then looking for kills at the end. I've got the reload lobby up, waiting for people to get back in. Alright. So at this point, who do we got? Who do we need for this reload? We might just do it like we did yesterday. I wonder how that's gonna go though, because now that Antiquity has managed to take the city from Rabdag-Halu might actually be able to retake that one, and that would spell trouble for Team Antiquity. Alright, everybody's in the reload. Hopefully that kill can go through cleanly, but if it doesn't, at least I'll get the save to do it with the AI afterwards. Ooh. We'll see if we can make that happen. Wow, lots of turns have gone by since the last reload. I'm really grateful for the tech problems having gotten way better over the course of this game. Let's see then, folks, how this is going to shake out. I really think Halu might be able to get a kill here if he plays it right. Almost got the kill on Rabdag anyways, but well. The banter in the lobby is strong, I can say that much. Alright, we're launching into the reload. Again, good chance that we crash again on reload, but at least we get the save for Rabdag before he dies. So here we are. We'll try to set this up. Dude. he just killed, but it looks fine. Alright, everybody, hopefully now repeating those moves. Okay, just making sure everything's going through legally here. Not sure what Kismic and Cheeze were doing at the same time, of course, because we were very much focused on the west here. But there we go. First kill coming through for Antiquity, and he's now going to have to reinforce that city. Because Halu... Oh, Halu's actually standing on the road. Oh, he's got to get that kill, right? He's got to be able to retake that city. I can't see Antiquity holding on to that. Halu, I don't think has moves left on these bowmen, but next turn it very much looks like he might be able to overwhelm the force in Augustodurum. I'll never get that right. Almost sounds like Durum. If you know, you know. But either way, it looks like Cheeze has been cleaned up there as well. Okay, so Kismic and Anti in a great spot now. Anti's likely to die, but still, that should be number one in scoring for them. Cheeze now planting more cities too. And he's still trying to get involved with Rome in one way or the other. And even with some horsemen from the northern galleys as well, he's going to try to get into a city, or at least scout out what Halu is going to hit him with. But so far, he's not actually able to see anything. Sure, he's got another movement point left, but Halu's planning on taking that city next turn, I would imagine. Now he can also focus fully on defense, where Kismic actually didn't end up moving those swordsmen last turn, interestingly. It looks like he was fully focused on offense himself. Oh boy, what are we looking at here? Very interesting stack movement there from Kismic. Is somewhat zoning off Cheeze. And I wonder where he's gonna look to hit, actually, as the turn expires. I don't see any plays being made at the end of this turn. Kismic at least moving on through with his swordsman. He's getting taken out though by the units from Halu out of Ashur, which might now be quite weakly defended, but good moves by Halu in time, manages to reinforce there and cleans up the offensive stack from Kismic. So the threats on the map become less and less. Good job by Cheeze getting a pillage done onto Rome though. I wonder how his legions actually got cleared out there. Loses the road to his front city. Not that it matters much, because the west isn't going to get pressured that much anymore at this point. Looks like he's making his final stand on this tile. Kismic stack attacking into that. He's getting more legions onto the stack, but a lot of archers on there. You don't want to lose those. It seems as though the defensive bombard has already been used up. So that's some archers going down for Byzantine Fire, and maybe it's questionable from him to go for the final attempt on that city over there. Great job by Antiquity getting the pillage off though. We didn't pay attention there. Wow, that was great work. Halu should have just moved on into Augustodurum immediately, but of course he couldn't really have known that Anti was about to spot him there. But that might just buy him enough time. It does buy him enough time to survive, because there's only 2 turns left in the game. Oh, wow. I didn't even notice that. But again, I gotta criticize Halu for not moving in there immediately. And I also, well, again, for Halu it was kind of a gamble. He didn't operate with perfect information. But I gotta criticize Byzantine Fire for making his last stand on a road that he doesn't need at all. He's never gonna lose this road in the back line. So the one in the front is really not that important. Why wouldn't you make your last stand in a city that is size 7, so it has a defensive bonus, and one of those cities is even on a hill? It really seems like maybe that's going to cost him, although it looks like he's killed enough swordsmen, because these guys are not going to be able to move onto these cities anymore. It looks like he's killed enough swordsmen so that he's going to be fine and not end up being taken out here. I think he's gonna survive this, but he made it closer than it needed to be as far as I'm concerned. Maybe delaying that stack moving in was exactly what he needed though, so it is hard to tell. Great work there by Antiquity, buying himself that extra turn, making it so Halu cannot kill him anymore. That's just incredible to me that that pillage of the road actually came through in time and now makes it impossible for Halu to get that kill back. At the end of the tournament, those kills, those 1 or 2 points back and forth could make the difference. So really unfortunate for Halu to miss out on this one. Kismic also saying that, yeah, he wish he could have brought more. It doesn't look like his stack now is sufficient to actually get any kills there. As we're entering the last turn, Halu's stack sadly not going to be in range to hit any cities there anymore. Let's see what these guys are doing on offense. Kismic is moving on in. He's going to stack attack into either Rome or Veii at this point. There's no real right answer there. He didn't manage to cut the road, so either way, I don't really see Biz dying. He's now attacking into Rome, which doesn't have the hill bonus, so maybe that's the objectively correct decision, but Byzantine's defenses aren't even budging for a second. And also a good idea to hit the city that your opponent, Cheese, cannot access with his army. So actually, if you're hitting Veii, maybe Cheese is able to kill you off there, or at least get in on the action. This way, you don't allow Cheese to get in on the fun. And despite Kismic not being able to get the kill there in the end, it looks like nobody else will either. So, as the game winds down, it looks like 1 kill is all that we're gonna get to see today. Unfortunate. Cheese and Rabdag tried their best with the aggressive civilizations. Didn't go for the score pump, but it wasn't meant to be. They didn't manage to land any kills. Only kill of the game, it would appear, for Team Antiquity. No, I think, yeah, he definitely had moves. Yeah, just letting him know. He's probably going to check the VOD anyways to make sure he's right on that, but still, I'm pretty sure that he actually would have moved in there that turn. Okay, so it would appear as though that is it for this game. I wonder how the scoring situation actually shook out. Halu and Byzantine, did they have more than Cheese and Rabdag in the end? I'm not 100% sure. Cheese chooses to attack with his army into Veii, gets a kill on the Legion there, but that's going to be everything it seems. Gets another attack off, but enough units in there to defend with, it seems. More MPs moving on over. And the reinforcements come into just in case. Here we go. That's it for you guys. And 1 hour 53 minutes of game time. Game 3 of the tournament is in the back. That's 1/3 of the event done and dusted. Let's check in again for the end of game score. We've got Babylon, that's Team Halu. So Team Halu, Babylon, Rome, 336 score. 336. Team Cheese, Celts and Zulu, 344. Okay, congrats to Team Cheese. They got second place in terms of score. That's huge. Let's do the math again to make sure I'm not wrong on that. But absolutely, Celt Zulu more score than Rome Babylon. Well played. And Sumeria Maya way above the rest of the competition, getting that first place in terms of score. So, what an interesting set of picks being made here. The civs that were chosen are quite creative, but at the end of the day, there can only be one winner here for this game. And after things were all tied up before game number 3 today, we have a new or old team, depending which way you want to look at it, securing their spot at the top of the table. Let me just add up all those scores for you guys so we can look at the new standings of the tournament after game number 3. Here we go. It's not that pretty, but you guys gonna have to live with it, I'm afraid. There we go. The new standings with 6 games remaining. Team Antiquity taking the lead. Everybody was tied at 8 points before this game, remember? But with the #1 score in the game plus 1 kill, Antiquity's team gets 6 points to move up to 14. Team Cheese, no kills, but still, despite that 1 death, clinging onto that 2nd place in score. So that's 3 points for them. And Team Halu, no kills and last place in score, just barely. Halu's city spam strategy not enough there. Babylon sadly not paying off for him in this one. That's 1 point for them, 9 in total. Things are closer after this game than they were after the first game. That is amazing, honestly. So still, everybody might still pull this one out. We've had the 6 highest picked players in this game. That was the premier matchup of everybody. So I'm glad we got to see that one. High level of play here. And Halu just coming up short there on the kills. Sadly for him, not his day. But there's going to be another game tomorrow, so don't miss out, everybody. Wednesday, February 16th. Oh, sorry, Wednesday was today. Thursday, February 16th at 10 p.m. Central Europe, Berlin, or at 4 p.m. if you live on the US East Coast, New York City time zone. That is a little over 19 hours from now. If you're watching this live, you're gonna be able to come back here and witness game 4 as we approach the halfway mark of the 843 MPT tournament. For now, thank you guys so very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this high elo game, and I'll see you guys tomorrow when the tourney continues.